Hey y'all, it's Wildcat 6305 coming at you from Ike's Treehouse outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And we are in July 1939 of my Automa game here. And so we're getting ready to kick off another round. Already got some of the German pieces, or already got my German token out here. Kind of getting ready to start the turn. But before I get into it and start playing each nation, I wanted to just kind of give a overall, preview. I guess I really don't know what's going to happen, but got some ideas. So, but we're here at July 39, so all the technologies, so a lot of the constraints that are naturally in game occur around July 39. So now everybody can build medium armor, everybody can build mechanized infantry, everyone can build strategic bombers, really start prepping for war. But with that though, it's coming back to the Axis to kick off war. So is this turn going to be the turn that Germany starts it off and starts getting it in here in France and Poland? Are they going to go that route? Is this the turn they can do that? Um, you know, that's something the German players going to have to analyze and take a look at. And fortunately, since I'm the only person playing at this moment in time, it will be, well, actually this whole game. But I'm probably really going to take my time before I go in with Germany. I'm going to sit down and really kind of evaluate what it is Germany can and can't do. Uh, if I had another player in here, then obviously we would need to be, somebody's waiting on you and, hey, hurry up, let's go, let's move. So since I don't have that social pressure there with Germany or with the game in all, we're really going to sit down and take some time and look at this before we make our moves and just kind of figure out, does Germany have enough to make an attack? Is July 39 the time to attack, or is January 40 the time to attack? And because also the Germans have a lightning war that they can use, and so do they have enough to sustain that? I've been building. The German players have been building up to that to try to accomplish a lightning war and everything, but have they met the target to be able to do what is expected to be able to do? Also, with that, what's Italy going to do once the Germans declare war? What does the Axis need Italy to do? What does Italy need Italy to do? Are they going to jump in war too, or are they going to stay out of it? Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact's been signed. Uh, you know, so you would expect that if Germany comes in and takes Poland, that the Russians are going to take the eastern side of Poland here. So and then what's Japan going to continue on in China, right? Or that's what we're expecting. I imagine that's going to happen. Border clashes, or is there going to be any more activity there? I don't know. These are all kind of things to see in the U.S. and the Allies and the British. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, they're just going to have to sit and wait. Uh, Continue to build for the inevitable and have our income rolls. So then and that'll be the big thing. The U.S. is going to be able to start having income rolls coming up here. Um, Flipping my handy dandy reference sheet here, and yeah. So starting July 39, had to find it. Just didn't want to sound crazy, but I was like, I don't see it right here. I don't see it. Did I make that up? No. So, but yeah, starting this round in July 39, the U.S. can start rolling for income on a D12. So odds are So they're right here at 11, and so odds are, I'd say they're pretty good that they're going to get to 15, so they can start lend leasing. Um, yeah, I would say that's in their favor to get that. If not, if any of the other increases that happen, so this is really starting to get come together here. So really, it's going to hinge on this. We'll know real quick what's going to happen, what the rest of this term is going to look like. Is it going to look like another pre-war, uh, pre-war exercise, or are we getting into it? So. So I think that's all I got to go over before we get into the turn. But just wanted to let you know where everybody's sitting and how we're kind of looking at that. Recap what's happened so far. Japan's continuing their conquest of China, but I feel like they could get roadblocked here anytime, especially if they do something stupid, which I doubt they will, as far as getting the U.S. or getting one of these other powers involved. But how long are they going to piddle around here with China before they do something, before they expand? So all questions to be answered. So, but hopefully we'll know here shortly. So stick around. Okay, Germany's purchase units research turn. Um, so what they ended up, so we're still doing War Plan Z, and so what they ended up deciding to do was completing the H-39 and the H-44, and then they also moved this normal plain Jane battleship up to stage 2. So just 6 more IPP, and they'll have that battleship complete as well. So the big boys H-39 and H-44 are going on the board this turn. We just kind of sat down and powered through with those because, in my opinion, if you're not going to build those two, then there's really not any point in even playing with War Plan Z. That's just me. But so we have 2 tech rolls. So one got for free since it's July 1939. The other is the other one was purchased. Then also with playing with the elite of the Reich, we have 3 SS troops that will go on in the place units phase of this. So these units, these guys on top, are not necessarily being bought. I just went ahead and marked them so I know what to put them under. So the caveat with this is, so there has to be a motorized, a regular infantry, and a militia left in Berlin at the time that the place units, and then we can place these chips underneath them, and it's essentially a +1 for attack and defense for these units. But I just went ahead and kind of marked them so I wouldn't have to go back and look at the rules later on, since I have just looked at the rules. Then so I showed you the naval purchase. They spent 18 IPP. War Plan Z requires them to spend 12, so they went ahead and exceeded that. Just kind of felt it probably sounded more logical. To go ahead and move up that other battleship. I think I may be getting close to winding War Plan Z down, but probably in another turn or two, I can see us terminating War Plan Z. So I want to go ahead and get that battleship pushed out. So with the rest of the money, the way it added up, so we bought a medium armor, a mechanized, a just normal infantry, and a anti-air to go in. So that's our builds and purchases for this unit for this turn. Like I said, I just got to do a good job of leaving or making sure I end up with these guys, with those three types of troops in Berlin at the end of this term, so I can place these, or else I'll lose them. So I'll go ahead and do my tech rolls real quick. You can halfway see my dice board or my dice box, depending on how I roll it. So the red one is going to be advanced mechanized. We're on stage 2, so we're rolling for stage 3. Needs a 7. And then the blue will be improved shipyards, which we're on stage 3. So this won't affect anything that gets built this term because I'm not building any naval units. So if we complete it, then that's where that bonus would come in, and of course with the improved shipyards, it takes the bonus off the top, not at the back. So those units I went ahead and moved, they've already had their quote unquote discount, or missed that opportunity, missed the window. Okay, so we missed on improved shipyards. No, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. We made it on improved shipyards. We can't even see that. There you go. So we've completed improved shipyards, and we missed on what was the other one? Advanced mechanized. So now the Germans have improved shipyards, along with the British and the Japanese. So yeah, that took me a second there. I'm not used to seeing 12s and thinking, oh, good. Usually, oh, a 12. Crap. So, all right. So I think Germany is going to end up making some combat moves. Just gotta double check it, but I'll be back once I've decided for sure. Well, as they say in the UFC, it's time. The Germans have decided to invade Poland and France. So declaring war with all said nations, and going to see how that shakes out here. So I'll probably be pausing. There's probably going to be several segments to get all this working, because there's just so much that's going to happen with this. Watching Admiral Seabass, the turn that Germany went to war for him, I think it was like an hour worth of video that he had now. So I'm hoping to be able to abbreviate some of that. But yeah, so what my plan is to show each battle. I have my battle board set up here, so I'm probably going to roll stuff out. But just real quick, I won't say real quick. Okay, this probably won't. So first up, what's going where? So here, let's see. All right, so the battle right here, pretty much most everything's moving the Germans from settling into this territory, West Poland, and so what's happening there? So they have 4 infantry and a cavalry. I need to try to move my stand here for a second so I can set my camera down. So they have 4 infantry and 1 cavalry. So we're going to go in with 2 fighters, 4 infantry, 2 medium armors, a self-propelled, and a mechanized. Then down here, what is this? The next one down to the south was Dolinoski or something like that. Which this one right here, that is this guy right here. And so and I stuck these ships here just because I was running out of room. Well, I guess I could probably fit them right there. but the Germans are also going to attack the torpedo boat destroyer that's in Sea Zone 15. Can you see it right there, right here, in that sea zone? They're going to attack it as well, so they're going to take a cruiser and a destroyer in against it. And then in the other land zone, they have 2 infantry, and so they're going to attack with 3 infantry from Slovakia, and so they'll be able to come in, no penalties. The light armor is coming in from Sudetenland, so the 3 infantry coming in from Slovakia, no penalties. The light armor is going to come in from Sudetenland, which they'll be at a -1 on the first round because of this river here. And then the Brandenburger is also coming in. The Brandenburg Commando is also coming in from Sudetenland. However, we're going to use a glider for him, so he's going to come in and not experience the -1 on his role of combat from the river. Then also here in Denmark, we were taking, the Condor Legion's coming in, and then we got the armored train is bringing in an artillery piece to help support, and then it's also bringing the artillery train car in. So hopefully that will be more than sufficient to knock out this one militia. And then also we have a Danish torpedo boat destroyer going up against a German torpedo boat destroyer and destroyer. So hopefully that'll take out all the fun here in the Baltic and Poland. So that'll be Denmark and Poland. Now, moving to the prime time event here, Germany and France. So, moving a ton of folks. Mainly, the German folks that are being moved are, I won't say all of these guys. All the land units were here in Munich, and that are right here. So they're moving in from Munich into Lorraine. And then the planes, some of them are in Munich, some of them are in West Germany. This transport plane, even though that's a strategic, I'm using a oil chip because all my transports need to be painted at the moment. So this is a transport. And so he's bringing in one airborne with him. The French are going to be defending. Oh, and then these planes here. Yeah, I think these planes were in Western Germany and Munich, and then these planes here were in Berlin. So coming in. So we got, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tactical bombers, 1 medium bomber, and 1, 2, 3, 4 fighters are going in. So, and then the land units coming in got, 4 medium tanks, self-propelled artillery, a mountain infantry, 2 infantry, mechanized infantry, a light tank, mechanized infantry, another light tank, cavalry, armor car, and then airborne infantry. A lot of stuff. And the French are going to be defending with a fighter, a motorized, artillery, militia, the Maginot Line, a minefield, AA, and 4 infantry, and a commander. And both sides have a commander. So this is going to be a big one right here. Overall, in the planning, I feel like the Germans have enough to take Warsaw and Paris because we're going to use the Lightning War. We're going to use this turn to be the Lightning War, and I feel like we have enough to take Warsaw and Paris. I don't know if we'll be able to get the full bang for the buck as suggested. Um, strategically speaking, using, fully utilizing blitzing and all that kind of stuff. I feel like if everything survives, we should be good. Um, if everything survives taking the first territories, it may take everything to take the next ones, which is probably poor planning on my part, but, hey, I'm also kind of getting anxious and just ready to get this thing going too. So, all right. So the other thing I wanted to show real quick is how did I come up with that stuff. So I kind of used. So let's see. Get this over here. I thought I had it somewhere where you could see it. So essentially, what I did, and ignore my chicken scratch. But essentially, what I came up with was just evaluating using the low luck dice principles to kind of not necessarily play it out using low luck, but to give the probabilities to make an educated decision about am I taking enough stuff in. So the Polish forces, so the first two rounds, they got pretty much a 30 and a 33% chance of getting hits, and combined for that first round is probably going to be about 2 hits is what they're going to average on that first round of combat. And we're going in with what should produce about 2 3/4 of a hit using low luck. I may do a low luck video later, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Hilltop Pillbox, his channel. He has a full-blown thing talking about low luck. I'm not going into detail of it right now. I'm just going to act like you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, just hang on. I'm almost done. And then kind of the same thing here as far as looking at low luck. Going into France, Lorraine, I kind of scribbled out some notes of Paris, but I'm not really as concerned with Paris at the moment. But Lorraine, that first round of combat with Maginot Line, just going to throw everything off. So they should have around 5.5 hits on that first round of combat. And then on the second round and beyond, it should be about 2 and 3.25. So they have a 50% chance on that first one. Of the 50% of their units should get a hit on that first round of combat, and 30% should get a hit on the second and beyond rounds. However, I've taken enough troops in to where I should get 11 hits on the first round if everybody survives, and so that's about a 57% chance going in. So I feel good about what we got, about what I'm taking in. But like I said, if you don't know what I'm talking about with the low luck, go watch Hilltop Pillbox not too long ago. Had a nice little video talking about low luck. And really, and he actually talks about playing with low luck, which is a complete different concept. But what I do, I like to use low luck to kind of evaluate a battle to figure out, hey, is this a good idea or not? What's the risk going into it before I try to mitigate some losses there. All right. So like I said, this is going to be the main event here. So probably going to do that one last because it's going to create so much stuff. There is just, with Germany attacking things, there is so much that's going to happen. And I don't know if I've shown you all this before, but I made myself a kind of a little event calendar, which if I cleaned it up and made it look better, I'd probably share it. But kind of went through this event calendar that I made, and I made it just kind of out of the base rules. So even all the rules that I'm playing with isn't necessarily there. But here, you can see when the fall of Paris what happens. There's this stuff that happens, and by the declaring war on the British Commonwealth, or the Commonwealth will go to, or yeah, the UK, Great Britain will go to the full production by declaring war on France. They'll get all the bonuses that come into play, all the different things. So a lot of back and forth because my plan is to try to keep up with the production chart as I'm going, because it's going to be too much. So, so I'll probably be splicing a lot of videos together and trying to eliminate some of the downtime here for you. But all right, well, let me get started. We got a long road ahead. This is going to be a busy little segment here for sure. All right, so this is going to be the first round of combat with the Germans and the Polish. So what I did was I'm not going to move the camera and show you, but I went ahead and I'm taking each kind of nation that they've declared war on and that they're invading kind of as its own separate thing. So flip through the rule book, flip through the national reference sheets and everything to get everybody up to speed. So with a declaration of war on the Polish, then what did that mean? And so I got everybody, all the allies' incomes adjusted accordingly. So what that did, that put the British at their full wartime income, and it also put the French at their full wartime income, and it also bumped up the Dutch one because I'm playing with rank carcasses, Dutch rules. So France and UK are free to declare war at this moment in time. They have not, though. I just think it'd probably be in the best interest to let the Germans attack them rather than declaring war on them quite yet. But there's reasons for that. But the task at hand, what I have here is, let's see, so we're going into, was it that southern territory of Poland, Dolnosk, Lasik, whatever, something. Yes, I did say Lasik. So what we got is, I said it earlier, got a light armor. He's crossing the river, so he's -1 on this round. Got 3 infantry coming in from Slovakia. Got the Brandenburg Commando coming in from Sudetenland. He's glidering in, so they're all attacking at 2. And then I have the 2 Polish infantry defending at 4. So with that, the red and blue are the Germans and the black are the Poles. So I'm just going to roll all of them at one time. Let's see what we come up with. So tank missed, had 9. Let's see, he missed. Okay, 1 German hit and 1 Pole hit. So -1 on both of them. So obviously that's an easy decision there. So take out 1 die, and then we'll also take one of them out, take out another die, move him back up to 4. So, alright, and then we'll just do it again. Okay, wait, 3 missed. miss. Everybody missed. Good, we got. Oh no. Okay, so Poles got a hit, and the Germans missed. So, all right. And since nobody's first strike or anything. Wow. The finally, but it is not pretty. So he's gone, obviously, but yeah, let's take this. Let's take the tank. I'd rather keep the commando. All right, so they barely took that other land unit, or they barely took that. That was a little bit rougher than expected. So, all right, let me clean this up and adjust income. Or do I need to? No, that's not worth anything. Awesome. So, all right. Well, let me clean this up and I'll get the next one on. All right, going to do the naval battle with the Poles here. So, you got a cruiser, destroyer, and torpedo boat destroyer. And nobody has first strike or anything special, so we'll just roll them all together. And it looks like the cruiser got him, so hit a 2. So, all right, good deal. So, where the German army didn't get it, the Craig's Marine made up for it. So, all right, so that's one down. All right, well, this is the battle for West Poland. So, I'm going to have to break this one down to attacker and defender here. So, so the Germans have first strike with their self-propelled artillery. And just kind of recap, we got 2 fighters, 2 2 medium armors, a mechanized infantry, a infantry supported by artillery, self-propelled, and then this is 3 infantry here, 4 infantry, and a cavalry. So we're going to roll the first strike for the self-propelled. 6. Useless. Alright, now we're going to roll everything else. Alright, so let's see what we got. Blues are 6. So that's 1, 2, those are misses. Let's see. The reds are 3, so that's a miss, that's a hit. And then greens are at 2, and they all missed. So that's 3. So I'll slide that over. Get these put back out real quick. And we'll have the returning volley. And they completely missed on everything. Wow. All right. So, grab some of these great ships here. I don't need that many, but I grab that many. So let's just do the easy thing and say that's 3. And then we're going to lose 3. So cavalry and 2. So got 2 guys left. And then we'll take those dice off the board. And then we don't have to worry about taking anything off. So, and now, actually what we're going to do, we're going to make this easy. So you can see that. Yep. All right. So that was a ton of dice. All right. So the Poles got 1 hit, All right, and so the blue are sixes. That's a hit. That's a hit. That's a hit. So I guess we can stop, but I can't stop myself. That's another hit. That's another hit. And then, yeah. Oh wow, it's only two. Oh, yep. That's all that was there. So we got. So the poles are eliminated, and need to take one German off. So we'll lose that one dude and go from there. So let's see, and their income will go up by one. So we'll adjust that right now. Okay, so we're attacking the Dutch fleet now. So uh, Germany has declared war on the Dutch. So I've adjusted the boards accordingly, and the only person that went up, because France and UK are already at full production, the Netherlands went up +1, and then Germany went up +1 for taking West Poland. So they're at 25 IPP now. So let's roll this out. Got a destroyer, torpedo boat destroyer, and versus a torpedo boat destroyer. Yep, I'll slide that forward. So all right, so he missed, and everybody missed. So do it again. And the Danish missed. Did I say Dutch earlier? I meant Danish. Denmark, Danes. So the Danish missed, and the German torpedo boat destroyer made a hit. So that took care of that one. So now we'll move on to the next. Okay, so the Germans took out the Danish fleet, and so now they are invading Denmark itself. So we got a artillery train car piece. We got that was hauled in by the armor car, which was also carrying artillery, and then they brought in, and then the Condor Legion stepped in from West Germany, and then there's one militia. So the two artillery pieces have first strike, so we'll roll for that first. Wow, and both of them missed. Yeah, both of them missed there. That's depressing. So it's up to the Condor Legion, and move this up. So it's up to the Condor Legion here. 6. They miss. The Germans all miss. So we'll see what happens with the militia. 5. He missed. Okay, everybody missed. So well, now that makes it, I can just roll all of them. Wow, this is going to be a long evening. Gather around and let's tell a story that's more interesting than these dice. Oh gosh. Nope, 3. Is that going to work? Nope. Yes, finally somebody learned how to aim. That's amazing. All right, so the artillery took this out. So they have taken Denmark. So I will adjust that IPP accordingly and need to get a British roundel, a British control marker for Iceland and Greenland. All right, and I think after that we'll have the main event ahead of us, invasion of France. So let me adjust these IPPs and we'll get to it. All right, so the German invasion into France, um, going into Lorraine. So this is going to be a big one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the first strikes first, um, because obviously you do that first. But normally I lay out all my dice, but I've kind of got a feeling let's just roll the first strikes and see what happens first. So just kind of high level go over what I got. Got all these planes. Talked about them earlier. Got, let's see, was it like four? No, one, two, three, four fighters, four tactical bombers, one medium bomber up here. I got four medium armors, two light tanks, cavalry, armored car, mech, self-propelled, mountain, two infantry, airborne, and a motorized, and a commander here, and the airborne is being dropped, in as well. I don't know if that's actually going to help anything or not, but yeah. Well, it makes them not susceptible to that, to the landmine here. But then defending, we have a fighter, a motorized, four infantry, artillery, a Maginot Line, AA, and a militia. So what's going on here? Obviously, the Germans have a commander, so everybody's +1. The artillery got plus. Well, he was going to be plus with the pairing of the armored car. He was going to be +1 anyways, but the commander did it, so take the highest one. And then kind of the same thing with the infantry. One of them should have gotten a +1 from that, but everybody got it. So that's why everybody's up a level higher coming in. Then kind of the same thing here. All the land units. Now I'm saying land mines are not land units. So that's staying at a 2, and that's going to be a first strike. But with the Maginot Line, that gives all land units, all defending land units, a +3 on this first round of combat, which is quite high in my opinion. But it gives a +3 to everything on the first round, and then it gives 2 6s, two first strikes at 6. So quite a bit of damage that can be done. So all this area right here is all +3, and then the fighter is +1. That should be 6, but 7 because of the commander. So after this first round, everything will go back to their +1 level with the commander bonus. Okay, so first things first, roll the attacker's first strike. So we'll hit it, see if the self-propelled did anything. Missed. Got a 9. So, all right, so I guess it really doesn't matter which ones go first, but we'll roll the land units first. All right, so 2 hits coming out of the artilleries, and then 2 misses. Thought I had this adjusted. I'm sorry. Where you can see my dice tray. There. That will probably be more entertaining. So got 2 hits out of the artillery and Maginot, and then got 2 misses. So we'll need to take 2 land units off there. And I got 2 land units, and then let's see what the AA did. See if the AA does anything. 4, 2. Got 2 planes. So All right. Well, I'm going to reshuffle the casualties and then we'll roll everything else. All right. So finally got this figured out. So post first strike. So the way I got this divided up, I'm going to have 3 heats, so to speak. So we're going to do the 7 and 8, and then we're going to do everybody else for the attacking, and then we got just 7 returning fire. So the blue and the red for this, they're both 8, but the blues have target select because they're the tactical bombers. Um, so yeah, we'll do this and then probably have to redo it again once we get everything shifted back. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's go for it. All right, and my plan actually worked. Look at how many target selects just happened right there. That is amazing. Wow, every single one of the 8s hit. Go figure. All right, so that's a miss. That's a miss. 7's a hit. That's a hit. That's a hit. And that's a hit. Wow. So out of all of that, had 7. Wow, out of all that, I only had 2 misses. What is that? 9 hits. That's incredible. All right, so keep that there, but I'm also going to keep. I want to do that. Yeah. All right. So those are my 3 target selects there, and then yeah, those guys didn't have target select. The green one. Okay. All right. Get those off of there. All right. Now second heat. All right. So the reds are 5. They all missed. The greens, they are 4. They all hit. And then the blacks are 3. So that 1 hit. So that's another 4 hits added on. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Well, I'm happy with that. All right. So clear all of that off. And these white markers here are every 5, so 5 plus 3, so 5, 10, 13. 9 plus 4 is 13. In case you're checking my math. All right, so now we're going to roll the defenders. So 5, that's a hit. Militia hit something. And then these are going to be 7s. 7, 6, 2. So they only got 4 hits. So, all right, well, that was a lot of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and select casualties and go from there and try to figure that out. All right, so went through, assigned casualties, and all the French units are gone. So France had to take all their units as casualties. And then the 4 hits assigned to the Germans ended up taking a cavalry, the mountain, the airborne, and a mech. I could have taken this motorized, but I kind of need to take that motorized back to Berlin so I can make him an SS unit. So yeah. So in case you're wondering why did he take a mechanized over a motorized? That's why. Greater good later on. So at the end of this turn, he's the same thing as a mechanized. So with that, the French commander, need to make an escape roll for him. So if it's 12, he's eliminated. 1 through 11, he escapes. And it's a 4, so he escaped. So then he will move back to Paris to make Paris all that much more difficult. All right, and now, so one of my house rules that I haven't implemented yet or that I really haven't had the opportunity to, guess I played. I don't think it hadn't came up in China and taking the Chinese territories the way all that's worked out. But the red cities, so any city on the map, the objective cities, all that kind of stuff, have uh, my house rule is that they inherently have a hospital. So and that they protect the zone, that they protect that zone and the surrounding areas. So Paris, being a red city, has a star, has a city on the map. Uh, it protects Lorraine. So for each casualty, um, I'll roll a dice for each casualty, and on a 3 or less, I'll get to return a infantry type to stage two. Um, to stage two on the production chart for France, and it has to be a type of infantry that was in the battle. So, um, we had a motorized militia and a normal infantry. So you can't just make a marine out of that. So anyway, so 1 die per casualty. So they had 9 casualties. So let's see if we get anything. See 1. We got 2. All right. So out of all that, So out of all that, they only got 2 back. So I don't even know how this will work out. So I'm just going to take. Let's take motorized. It's there. It's an option. So I'm going to put that on stage 2 over here on the production chart. So I'm not really sure how that's even going to work particularly. That's probably going to get taken off. I imagine if this next round goes the way I think it will. So that may have not mattered, but I'm not going to let that stop us. So now that so that was round 1, the first round of combat complete, or the first combat round. So we will. I need to adjust the income for Lorraine, but other than that, we need to. Other than that, need to start the lightning war. So go to round 2. So I need to fly all these planes back, readjust my combat moves and all that stuff. So I'll be back however long it takes me to do all that. Okay, so this is the first combat that we got going on for the lightning war. So this is going to be 2 city attacks. So this is going to be Warsaw, and then the next one's going to be Paris, obviously. And honestly, given the Maginot Line, the Germans couldn't have blitzed, and then just kind of given that you're having to cross a river to get into Warsaw, I hadn't built up enough German troops to really make a good push to do the classic, attack, blitz, rewind, lightning war, attack, blitz. So really, we just have enough to do what we're trying to do, and the German player is trying to honor the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact at this moment in time. Just because we're not really trying to start a war with Russia, because we're trying to get what we're getting. So, but enough of that. So we got a fighter, 2 infantry, and a cavalry for the Polish, for the Polish army, and the okay. So I'm saying cavalry's infantry unit. I think that's coming out in version 3. So since it's a city, that infantry class units get a +1, so that's why they're at a 5 and a 3. And then the fighters here, and then all my attacking land units for the Germans are -1 because they're crossing the river and have a river penalty. So the only thing that has a first strike is self-propelled. So we'll roll that. So that'll be hitting at a 2. And it's a 12. That's a lovely 12. So let's grab all this other stuff up. Alright, so the fighter hit at a 4. Looks like we had 1 tank, 2 tanks, and then everybody else missed. So, alright, so we had 3 hits on them. So this will be going another round of combat because they have 4 people there. So I'll go ahead and get all this stuff out of the way. Get this kind of back to the way I had it there, and roll this back. Okay, so 10, so that's a miss. Flipped it. And then, see, that's a miss. 6, 8. So the poles missed. So obviously the easiest thing is to wipe those 3 off. And then we'll leave them with 1 dice there. Okay, so now the river penalty is no longer there. So then that shifts back up 1. This shifts, both these shift up, and that shifts up. So since everybody survived, I could have brought the Brandenburg Commando, but I didn't. I figured these guys got it. All right, 1 hit from the fighter again, and that's all that was needed, and that was all that they had as well. So nobody else hit. Okay, so let's see if their fighters did anything. 7. Missed. All right, so the Germans took Warsaw without a casualty. So I'll, as usual, clean this up, just income, and then we'll have Paris attack next, and that'll be fun. Okay, got the Paris battle set up, and took a little bit of head scratching on this one just to get all my dice worked out right. So we'll do the first round here, and probably gonna have to stop it and reconvene for the second round here. So do the first strike. So got medium bomber, 4 tactical bombers. We got 3 fighters and 4 medium armors, 2 light armors, armor car, self-propelled, and artillery that was hauled in on an armored train. There's a commander down here at the end. I got him in the 0 column. Here, I'll put him right there. I'll move this one guy down too. So they got a commander, so everybody's +1. French have 2 fighters, 2 infantry, light armor, AA gun, 2 artillery, and a minefield. And so they have their commander, and so they're all +1 minus the minefield. So the French first strikes are the 2 artillery, the minefield, and and the AA. So we'll and then I missed it for the Germans, but the Germans also brought in an artillery train car. So the Germans have 3 first strikes, so we will roll them and keep putting my camera in the wrong spot. There we go. All right. So first strikes for the Germans. So I needed a 6 or 4, and so we got 1. We got 1 first strike. So we'll just keep that in mind and put this back. And now, and I'll just roll all this, the anti-air as well, because they're different colors. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so the 2 artillery missed. And yeah, because they were hitting at 4, they missed. The landmine missed. And then the anti-air missed, as you would probably suspect. So I'll go ahead and move the mine off. I'll push the AA back to where he can be taken as a casualty later. And so since there's a first strike, we'll go ahead and let the AA be the first strike casualty for them. And clean, do a little housekeeping here. I tell you what, we're gonna do that. I'll swap out some dice for the French there. That makes more sense now. All right, now I just need to roll the rest of this stuff. So, all right. So I'm doing 2 heats with the Germans. Probably, we can probably change this up. No, well, wait, no, I can't. Anyways, that's 7s and 8s. So the blues have a target select of 3. Those are attack bombers. So we got 3 target selects. This is, we got a hit. Hit. See, the greens are 7, 9, and 5. So that was, that's an 8 too. Okay, cool. Yeah, I discarded it because it wasn't a target select, but that is still just as valid. All right, so that is what, 7? All right, move all this out of the way. Those are some good dice right there. Yep. Alright, so now the armored car and the 2 light tanks. Where did that go? Where did that guy come from? Oh well. Oh, that's the artillery. Okay, cool. Alright, so the 2 light tanks and armored car. So we needed, reds needed to be 4, and no, reds were 5, so we got 1 more hit. And then the armored car missed. Alright, and now we'll let them fire back. Alright, so we got 7s on the fighters, so those missed. The infantry hit, and that was the only thing that hit. So we got 1 hit on the yeah, one hit from the French. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have 8 hits. So this is done. So this is complete. So um, the French have fallen. So now I got to figure out what casualty the Germans want to take, and then we get to start. And they are going to elect to set up Vichy France. And now that Paris has fallen, there's a bunch of other stuff that gets kicked off as well. So I'm going to pause it right here, clean up my battle, and pick a casualty, and we'll be back in a minute. All right, well, I finally finished the German turn of July 1939, and it felt like a marathon. So I think I'm going to go ahead and post this video. I don't know how long it is, but I feel like I've spliced a lot of videos together because typically when I'm filming videos like this, I make several and just start and stop, and then I put it in a video editor that I have. I found a video editor on open source. It's called, what is it, OpenShot, and so I just kind of throw it all in there and splice it together and export it to make it one video. So we got a lot of little clips, and so I think normally I've been doing just like the whole turn, but I think for this one, I'm just going to do the Germans, and then I'm going to come back and finish the rest of it in a separate video. So I'll have the Germans and everybody else. But what all happened? So let's see. I showed y'all the. So where y'all stopped. Where I stopped watching was, or had y'all recording rather. So the Germans had just taken Paris. So Paris had fallen, and the Germans had just taken Warsaw. So with that, a lot of stuff occurred after which. So the biggest thing with the fall of Paris, then that implemented the German player elected to implement Vichy rules. So, which I'm not going to go into detail about explaining Vichy rules, because it is what it is. Read the rule book. Maybe I'll do something later on it. But so we set up Vichy France, and then it started rolling for all the naval units and all the colonies. So as you can see, probably the big thing is Africa here. So you can see Northern Africa went Vichy France. So that's going to be that's going to make it difficult. I don't see, if North Africa becomes a thing, I see the Allies are going to have to attack Vichy France. Just kind of looking at it, but you can see there's a mix of Africa where we do have some free French troops peppered in. French Somalia went Vichy, and then Vietnam went Vichy as well. So it's Japanese, and then New Caledonia went Free France. So that's kind of how all that went. Every territory that's worth an IPP value went Vichy, or so either the Germans controlled the original French territories, or if it's worth an IPP, it went Vichy, except for Syria. So that was a very strong turn for the fascists, I'll just say at large. So right now, Free France, they will earn one IPP in their exile, and they decided to move their capital up to London. That just seemed like the safest bet rather than Belgian Congo. That they could have done that, but I don't know. Didn't really see it. So with that, so with Denmark falling, I think I mentioned it earlier, but Iceland and Greenland, get the camera over, are now controlled by the UK. Let's see what else. So after I resolved the Vichy rolls and then resolved the ships in here, so a lot of the French ships, really, I think there were only like 2 destroyers that got scuttled. But the way I'm demarking the Vichy French, because I haven't repainted, I need to paint Vichy France units. Vichy French. Is it? Yeah. Anyways, so I need to paint the Vichy. So I got these little wood tokens here, and you can barely see it. So if it has a wood token underneath it, then that's Vichy. If it's not, it's Free French. So these stayed Free French. These are 2 French subs that went German. A lot of ships went German. The French battleship went German. The cruiser, the transport. So a lot of stuff went German over here. And really, that was the only place that the French Navy was, because the transport that's over there in the Pacific, they ended up moving. They moved this dude over here. So that's where that was. So actually, that transport that was over there is probably one of these 2 guys right here now. But yeah, so we set up Vichy France, and then rolled for everything, got all that resolved. That felt like that took forever. So just be glad I spared you of that. I guess it's just it's not all that exciting. Dinner non-coms. The big thing here is just we kind of spread the planes back out. We spread the German fighters and tactical bombers back out to be able to kind of handle a bigger, just kind of look a little bit more formidable. Let me turn this light on. There you go. So just kind of spread the planes out, just kind of get a little bit more of a net going on here. And then the big thing too, so since I'm playing with Operation Sea Lion, so there was a lot of stuff that got placed. Let me rotate this camera. A lot of stuff got placed with Operation Sea Lion. So all of these German units right here got placed from Sea Lion, from the Appendix A in the Sea Lion rules. And then some home guards got placed, and I just killed that dude. Some home guards got placed, and those are essentially militia that can't move. And then also an auxiliary, which is kind of a little bonus for the partisans. It's really kind of prepping for London to get captured. Is what the Sea Lion rules are. And then also this little sea fort right here got placed, which is an AA gun that sits in the middle of the English Channel, and then radar got placed in London there. So and then this blockhouse got placed too. So placed those units, relocated the French commander had an escape roll, so he relocated to London as well. So just kind of really consolidated what we had there. So placed all that, which was a lot. And then the other thing that got done was with the fall of France, with the fall of Paris, the Germans were able to annex either Romania, Hungary, or Bulgaria, and so they elected to annex Romania because Romania has an oil well and had more troops on it. So with that also bumped up the Soviet income. So they got to roll a D12 on that, and so they got an 8. They were at 8 IPP, so now they're at 16. So they essentially doubled their income because of that choice. But the big thing that I want to show right here is the IPP that the Germans got. So the Germans, their base IPP was at 24 at the beginning of the turn. It is now at 41. So they went up in base IPP 17 IPP. All right, my camera cut off there on me. Had to play with it for a minute. But so 17. So the Germans went up 17 IPP, going from 24 to 41. I mean, that was a huge increase. Also, the Japanese went up they went up to 30 from 28 with gaining Vietnam there. So a lot of increases that went through on this round. So here, this is the stack of money that the Germans got from taking Paris when the French surrendered. So this is 9 IPP that they got from the French. So their base. So since I'm playing my economic stimulus rule, so they got 62 IPP for base. So 41 because half 41. So rounded up. So they got 62 IPP there. Then they got 7 IPP bonus here for their bonus rules. Just their wartime bonuses. Having Romania, Sweden being, or what? It's either Sweden or Norway, one or the other, being neutral. And what have, and then I think there was winning the Spanish Civil War, so that was a bonus IPP right there. And then they got their 5. From the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, so they elected to get 3 oil and then 2 IPP, and then they also earned 6 oil worth through their refineries and what they have going on. So in all, they got 9 oil, and then let's see, I added this up a minute ago. If I can remember what my total was, 9, 16, 18. Yeah, so they got 80 IPP this round. So that is huge. Going in the next round and having 80 IPP. Hopefully I didn't break the game using my economic stimulus rule, but either way, I mean, they essentially only got 20 extra IPP than what they should have normally gotten with that. So we'll see how that goes. But just kind of on the whole of some other things I did. I talked about the Russians, and I talked about the Japanese, and talked about the French, of course, going down. So now Free France has 1 IPP. Oh, and I got a marker. I need to fix that. Hopefully that'll stay. All right. So, but in addition to, let me swing my lamp out of the way here. But in addition to just what the Germans had, I'll tell you what. Maybe I'm gonna set this up. I probably should have paused it, but oh well, too late. So, in addition to just looking at how the French and the UK and the Americans, how their income went. So the Americans gained 5 IPP when the Germans went to war with France. So they came up from 11 to 16. So that's a good little increase for them. 15's one of those power play numbers there for them, so they can start doing stuff. Start lend leasing, and I think can they close the Panama Canal, something like that. Anyways, it says it in their national reference sheet what they can do, but 15 triggers stuff that they can do. Yeah, they can close the Panama Canal, and they can lend lease to people that are at war. So that was huge. Kind of starting to free up the U.S. player there. The UK, they were at 17 IPP. Now remember, normally out of box, 24 is their magic number to get to wartime income, but since we're playing with the Canadian expansion, it's 24, it's -5, so that'd be 19. So they just had to get to 19 to be at their wartime income. So the way I played it, because I was just kind of curious to see really all the dynamics. Obviously, when the if the Germans attack if the Germans attack the French, the UK goes Great Britain goes to full production. If if the Germans attack Great Britain, then France goes to full production. So kind of with that, I knew those things would happen, but I wanted to see how it would work out by just going through Poland. So I kind of went piecemeal with it. So the Germans attacked Poland first. So then I went and rolled whatever increases I had to do for that. And I mean, they rolled, I think they were allowed to roll like 2d12, and they ended up getting like 4. So, but really by default, they only needed to move up 2. So just they were going to be at war, full wartime production just from the Germans attacking Poland. And then the same thing with Denmark. Could have happened with Denmark. And then, of course, when if they hadn't gone the full way up, when they attacked France, when the Germans attacked France, the UK would have been at full production. Kind of that same thing. The French, they were hanging around here, I think like 6 or something, and then they shot up to 17, only to have all that stripped back down to. So they did this number that turn. But they were at 17 at their full production. One of the big takeaways from this turn, just kind of from a viewership, from like viewing of what happened. A key point, I guess, is that the UK and the Germans are not at war at this moment in time. The UK could have declared war on Germany, and Germany could have declared war on Great Britain. However, the British made a calculated decision not to declare war. So why would they want to do that? You may ask. Well, probably the biggest reason is that if the UK gets attacked, because the UK, ANZAC, FEC, and Canada are all one entity as far as attacking and what have you. So if any part of the Commonwealth is attacked, then all of the Commonwealth goes full wartime income. However, if Great Britain declares war on Germany, then they have to be at full wartime production to do that, but the others don't automatically jump up to their wartime incomes. So because of that, the British did not declare war, because they're hoping that, what should happen next turn, is that when the Germans attack, these guys will bounce up. So if we would have declared war preemptively against Germany, these guys would be stuck down here. So that was kind of the ploy, if you will. Probably a little bit of gaminess, but I feel like it's calculated gaminess in a way. And really the Germans were good with that too. The Germans didn't want to declare war on the British right now, because they had just barely enough of what they could take care of themselves in this turn, much less adding another belligerent to the mix. Really, I've been playing with this 150% rule, and I think it's great because, honestly, I don't know if Germany could have attacked in 1939 with the way everything was going. Now granted, the French would have had less troops, but the Germans would have had less troops as well, and I don't know if they would have been able to swing the decisive blow that they did in this as well. And really, you look at Great Britain right here; they're getting stacked up as well. So I'm really liking this element. I feel like that's one thing that, with playing with as many expansions, and really even to some extent the base game, you're just needing some injection of capital, some financing, And so far I've really been enjoying that rule that I came up with here. Let's see, anything else for a while now? Oh yeah, so I did get the motorized back in Berlin. So he was able to make SS, and so we have 4 SS units now in Berlin. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with them. Uh, so I was supposed to have a Brandenburg Commando get placed in January of 39, and apparently I missed that, so I went ahead and placed him this round. Um, oh yeah, so that was another thing. So with playing with both Special Forces and Elite of the Reich, that's going to have me watching the calendar a lot with these guys. That a little bit to manage. I don't know if I like that part, but part of it, I guess. But I will say the Special Forces was kind of neat. We attacked the Special Forces. So he's here now. One of the Brandenburg Commandos is here in Slovakia, but he attacked into was it this one, that territory there in Poland, and it was I like the way that played out with him having a glider, acting like an infantry, all that kind of stuff. I thought that kind of added a nice little twist to it. So looking forward to that, but just multiple things to keep up with there. So overall, I feel like the Germans are set up quite well to be continuing. I feel like they accomplished what they had a good turn, and really the only turn where they suffered, the only combat where they suffered a lot of casualties. Was one of those first Polish territories where they got where the Poles got 4 hits. Other than that, they actually fared pretty well, even against the Maginot Line and what I was expecting. I think the AA gun did some did some damage there, the French AA gun. But outside of that, I mean, I was pleased with how everything worked out. Didn't lose any navy when they were attacking the Polish and Danish navies. So, but yeah, so this was an exciting turn, and they're going into the next turn with 80 IPP. So I'll go ahead and post this video and just kind of do this one separate, and then I'll be following up with all the other nations after this. So, well, until next time, be safe out there.